Good afternoon everyone, we are group 11 and today we are going to present about the strategy and corporate sustainability regarding to Agoda. I'm Yon and this is Kasi, this is Saloni, this is Nana and this is Chami, and we will start now.
Agoda is one of the leading online travel agencies of Asia. Its core competencies are high quality service, inventory growth, innovation of payment method, customer service and strong collaboration. Regarding high quality services, it's giving high quality one-stop service to customers through online booking of hotels and rooms, car rentals, airport transfers. It's growing its inventory. Recently, it formed a partnership with an online platform in China where they're sharing over 100,000 rooms. It's bringing innovation to its payment method. Now its customers can pay through Alipay and WeChat Pay. So its key success factors are its business model, its inventory, horizontal integration, when sharing, technology development and marketing efforts, and user-friendly website and real reviews. The business model that it's using is merchant model, which helps it push its customers to book its payment through confirm its bookings through payment. This helps them secure payments and reduce the risk of frauds. The business model also helps them increase inventory and keep inventory which they can give to their customers during peak periods. So now talking about their strategies, I hand it over to Nana.
And now we have a look at corporate strategy. Agoda was born in Asia and it dominates in this region with value-added services and location-centric dominance. So, it's trying to expand aggressively to Europe and in China by using process and differentiation. But its core competency are similar to its competitors. So we can say that for now, it's competing in the red ocean. And for the positioning, it's still unclear whether it's cost leadership or differentiation. So it's stuck in the middle. Anyway, Agoda is a strong player in this market. The finest rate is the base offer to get lower prices, the best deal for the to get lower prices, and to control the budget. And it is set to improve the source port. It has more than 1.8 million properties around the world, and be the top ranking in search engine and provide the best customer support to respond to customer inquiry.
Now let me introduce the competitive threats and structural weakness. Firstly, the competitive rivalry. There are strong existing rivals in the industry, and most of them are large and global brands like Booking and Expedia. That means all the firms in the industry, they have to engage in competitive actions to gain possession. The intense rivalry among the existing players will drive down the price and decrease the profitability of the industry. And secondly, the little room or differentiation. The differentiation is very big in this industry, and all the firms have to collect information of hotels and fill the rooms to customers in a higher price. And due to the weak differentiation, the economics of scale are fairly hard to achieve. And thirdly, the multiple options and zero switching cost. The customers can choose different products and services from other industries to meet their needs. The psychological switching costs of moving from the industry to alternative products are low. Buyers are always want to buy the best offerings available by paying the minimum price as possible. And the last one is of traditional booking systems. And the young people are the main group that they prefer to use the online booking system. However, there are a large number of customers that they are not familiar with technology. They prefer to use the traditional online booking, traditional booking systems like the phone booking or walk-in inquiry hotels rather than using the online booking system. Now let's move on my partner Yon.
Okay, so this diagram shows the impact of external environment on Agoda, and presents the either positively or negatively. So according to the economic power shift across the world, we can see the significant increase of GDP in all countries, especially in Asia. So as Asia is the region of business for Agora, it can become the economic benefit for Agora in operating the business. So according to the threats, the social factors and the technology factors are the most threatening to Agora. Regarding to the technology, although technology brings the positive impact to Agora, it also brings the challenge to being the online-based business. So, along with the development of big data, Agora should aware of the cyber attack which will branch off the information from all of the customers, and then rising concern of the virtual reality that is increasing in the world, and Agora should aware that if people tend to choose that option regarding to the one compared to the reality, it will affect the revenue stream of the Agora significantly. So Agora should aware of investing in the technology, like upgrading in their data science and their AI experience, and then their experience in implementing the more accurate technology regarding to the threats. When you talk about the social technology, when it comes to the changing perceptions of the millennials and the Generation Z, they became the major shifts in the tourism industry as well as the Agora. So their changing perceptions are changing. Their perceptions on traveling are changing day by day, and they have a major move to Agora. So for example, the increasing rate of solo travel and eco-travel, Agora need to invest more on the online marketing and then the sustainability development for the business. So for the next slides, Kathy will explain more about the greenwashing and economic sustainability.
So when it comes to the social factors, the sustainability and environmental issues are also interrelated. So as per our analysis and from what Agoda or the mother company Booking Holdings have disposed in the market regarding its information, we can call it as a greenwashing. So how is it actually formulating a greenwashing? So what Agoda has done is it's not Agoda but Booking Holdings who have actually conducted an energy audit to see its carbon footprint. On the other hand, it is also trying to adopt some sustainable practices in terms of using energy efficient tools, energy efficient energy systems, and also small vessels that can actually provide efficient use of water resources. Agoda also hires data centers and servers to manage their operations. In this case, they are also focusing on using those data centers that are powered through renewable sources. But one thing that actually Agoda misses here is the position of its suppliers and also at the user end. So how is it affected? So the internet is having more carbon impact on the world, and which is exceeding the travel industry or the airlines industry. So while talking about the use of servers and other things, the manufacturing of devices like from small mobile phones to big servers, they are actually more carbon intensive. And Agoda or its mother company Booking Holdings have no such initiatives, or we haven't found any type of measures or initiatives taking to control those issues, or how they are addressing their sustainability issues in managing the suppliers. It also comes to the user end. While users, how to use efficiently. There is a trade dilemma between the usage of devices, internet, and the business. First of all, if people stop using the internet, then Agoda would lose its business. So there's a great challenge lies for Agoda to address this issue, how they would promote sustainable practices also at the user ends. So with that issue, we move on to the trends. We have actually identified the future trends. Now the world is speaking of the mega trends that are being followed in the future by 2030 and 2050. Well, speaking of the trends, the predictable trends lie with the number of rising global internet users. So as the number of internet users rise, there is obvious opportunity for Agoda, as each user is a potential customer. And also there are paradigm shift in solo traveling and eco-travel issues. So how do they address this predictable trend, and what are the challenges lying behind? So to address the challenges, Agoda needs to take steps from very now to address the future trends. So the strategy is, like as said earlier, that Agoda does not have this differentiation strategy. So to be compatible with the future trends, it can actually move into different segments of the customers, where they can actually provide, rather than short term, they can provide long term accommodation services, as also look at new segments like student lodgings, home rentals, and also provide customized needs for the solo travelers who are being called as the millennials of the future and who are shaping the industry. Another big strategy is the diversification through new services. Agoda is playing an intermediary role in the current business model, where we suggest that it can make its footprint even into the physical existence through investing into new hotel chains, or also having collaboration with multinational organizations. Another more major recommendation is, as it is a technology business, it also has some competitive advantage and knowledge of integrating into the Internet of Things. So diversifying its business into more internet-related devices or the artificial intelligence could give them a competitive advantage and differentiation strategy. Obviously, they need to care for the environment, and as stated earlier, that Agoda does not have strategies to actually influence the user end in sustainable practices. So it should have more green marketing strategies through its websites, and also its favorable disposition in addressing the solo travelers' needs. So why these trends are very important? Most importantly, as the future trends depict that we are actually running out of resources. The world is running out of great resources like the fossil fuels that actually power our entire system. So think of a situation, if the fossil fuels run out and the airline industry depletes, so there will be no business. People will travel, and so the business will be in threat. Yes, unpredictable trends are really unpredictable, we cannot predict, but we have considered some situations as the global shift happens. If people stop using internet, or something happens, a climatic disaster that can actually revert the entire world and the internet stops. In such a case, we'll have a suggestion in the following slide, but let's look at another pressing issue, which is the virtual reality. In current days, people are actually experiencing before they are traveling. So they are trying to look at how the places would be and where they want to be before actually physically going there. So before making a fruitful investment, virtual reality is having a great impact on people's minds. What if the virtual reality actually takes over physical traveling and people do not need to travel anymore? In such case, we suggest that Agoda needs to have an offline technology. As a technology business, they can actually create disruptions in the market, and offline technology development could be very innovative and also give them a differentiation strategy in placement into its market. Finally, we'd like to emphasize on Agoda's core competencies. So, as said earlier, that Agoda is still way behind in finding a competitive edge in this market. So they would emphasize more on differentiating, diversifying its business to ensure the sustainability. And as we understand that being part of the global giant Booking Holding, the strategies are set by Booking Holdings. So if Agoda fails in some cases, or if it does not, if it fails to compete with the sister brands, the Agoda might get swallowed with a bigger brand. So they must keep track of the competitors and its mother company. And finally, they should care for environment, and they must have more sustainable practices into their business, as well as influencing behavior of the consumers. Thank you.
Very much. Perfect time. Well done.